This is the final episode of this series, and so just to mention some of the constant messages that we've seen throughout the Qur'an. God is one, the constant reminder and the most important message of all, that God is one, and emphasis upon emphasis upon emphasis that there is nothing worthy of worship except the one and only God, which in Arabic is Allah, the God, the only God, the one and only God. And so never to associate anything else with God in worship. Good news and warning. Good news for the believers of the unimaginable rewards awaiting for them in paradise. And warning after warning after warning for the disbelievers to come out of disbelief, otherwise be faced with the unimaginable punishment in the worst of all destinations, hellfire. Signs. God has given numerous signs from the passages within the Qur'an itself to the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in it, and the creation of you, the human being, and everything within you. There are uncountable signs for people who take the time to think and reflect and understand. Resurrection. Those who persist in disbelief can't fathom the concept of being brought back to life once they are dead and reduced to bones. But God reminds us many times using the parable of sending rain from the sky, which gives life to the dead earth, and in a similar way the human being will die and be given life once more and be resurrected from the dead for the day about which there is no doubt, the day of judgment. Denying the messenger and the message. Over and over again, God mentions about the things the disbelievers call the messenger to discredit him, to deny him, to reject him and his message, calling him a madman, magician, delusional, poet, soothsayer, and calling the Qur'an pure magic, poetry, ancient tales and fables, ancient fabrications. But God consoles him and reminds us that the previous messengers were also rejected by the disbelievers and called all sorts of names too. So having reached the end of this series, I hope that it has shed some light into the contents of the Qur'an, and I hope it has created an interest in you to go on and read the entire book for yourself. I do want to mention that it does matter how you approach it. If you approach it with humility, genuinely seeking the truth, and sincerely asking God for guidance, then you will indeed find the truth and the light of guidance in it, God willing. And if you approach it with arrogance, just looking to find things to argue and debate with people about, without having full knowledge or context or understanding about it, then indeed you will be plunged further into darkness. God knows best your intentions, and God guides whoever He wills. May God guide all of us to the straight path. Finally, I just want to mention that the life of this world is so short, a temporary life that will be over before you know it. Just like how we think of it in our conversations, that time flies, or where has the time gone? Then on the day of judgment, it will feel as if though we were only in this life for an evening or a morning or an hour of a day, as God mentions. So when that time comes, just imagine this. When that time comes, it will be the eternal life. Do we then at that time want to be in the eternal life, in a life of misery, or in a life of bliss? And that brings us to the end of the series. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you have benefited from it. If you have, then please like, subscribe and share with others so that they may also benefit.